5 years ago, I posted a video on how to build a retaining wall step by step. Since then, that video has been viewed millions of times, and people love it because it's clear, concise, and complete. Now you can get to that video by clicking right up here. But just like with everything ever created online, there are some haters. And these haters are saying that the retaining wall that I built in that tutorial is going to fail. Some said it was going to fail because I didn't use a drain pipe, others because I didn't reinforce the soil with Geogrid, and some people just didn't like my mustache. So I created this video to show what that retaining wall looks like today and to answer some questions that I've received. So did the retaining wall fail? Let's find out.
So I posted this how to build a retaining wall video about 5 years ago, but it's actually been 6 years since I've built this wall. Since then, it has seen dozens of snowstorms. It's been exposed to rainstorms, some of which have lasted over a week, and it's seen freezing temperatures well below 0 degrees Fahrenheit. The ground has frozen and thawed countless times. And despite these harsh conditions, here's what the wall looks like today. Not only has it not failed, it hasn't even had any noticeable movement. The wall remains to be a defining feature in this landscape that completely transformed this yard. In fact, it actually looks better than the day I installed it because the plants have had a chance to grow. So as you can see, the wall is doing just fine. So at this point, let me cover some common questions I've been getting from the comments in that last video about building retaining walls and explain why I didn't do things like install Geogrid or use a drain.
And the first question is, why didn't I install a drain on this retaining wall?
Because it's unnecessary for this design. These blocks allow water to drain out the front, eliminating the need for purpose-built drainage. If you're using blocks that fit tight together, like the ones shown here, then some sort of drainage is a good idea. And like I mentioned in my original video, if you're building a wall that is taller than 3 feet, then you should consult with an engineer before breaking ground on construction. They will tell you if and what kind of drainage to use.
Why didn't I use Geogrid?
Because my wall is only 3 feet high. For walls over 3 feet tall, Geogrid starts to become necessary, which is one of the reasons you usually need a building permit to build over 3 feet.
Is the fence on the sides of the retaining wall retaining dirt?
No, you should never use a fence to support any more than a few inches of dirt. As you can see, the fence follows the slope of the hill on both sides, and it's why I went with this stepped design.
Did I remove the lip from the bottom of the blocks for the first row of blocks?
Yes, I used a mason's chisel and knocked off the lip to make it easier to install the first row. Additionally, I knocked off a small piece of the corners of the blocks, as shown right here, so that the seams in the blocks didn't become misaligned through the curve.
Can you build a retaining wall that is taller than 3 feet using the design that I showed?
No, 3 feet is as tall as you can go without consulting with an engineer and getting a building permit.
Which adhesive is best for retaining walls?
Any outdoor high-quality construction adhesive will work just fine. I've linked to the one that I use in the video description.
Why did I only glue the top layer of the blocks?
Because that's all that is necessary. The glue is only there to keep people from lifting up the top row. The adhesive is not for structural support. On other designs, like this one, I recommend gluing every layer because it could easily be kicked over.
Now, if you have questions that you can't find answers to, I recommend visiting a local retaining wall block supplier and talking to them. They can often give you free advice specific to your area that you're just not going to find on the internet. And finally, if you enjoy working with your hands and improving your home, have you ever considered starting a local repair or handyman business? You might be surprised at how profitable and enjoyable it can be. Now, if that sounds at all interesting to you, then I recommend you check out handymanstartup.com to learn more. Thanks for watching. I'm Dan Perry, and I'll see you in the next video.